Hello, my gorgeous group ones. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 1, then you're in the right place. Today's reading is going to be about your divine feminine power. Who is she? Who are they? And how can you step more into that power? How can you feel more at home in your feminine? This was recommended by one of my viewers, one of my subscribers. I hope she subscribed. I know she commented on one of my videos. It was a very good idea, but I needed to be in a specific kind of energy to do this kind of reading, right? Because I feel like I have been in my masculine for a while, a minute. But this past weekend, this past Labor Day weekend, I was able to be more chill and like be more in my feminine. Something happened to me last week. I don't know what it was. It was a very interesting week, I'm not gonna lie. So I feel like it prepared me for this reading, and I feel like I am more equipped to do a reading of the divine feminine, your divine feminine. So like I said, I want to get into who she is and how can you tap that more into her, okay? Or feel more comfortable in her. So first we have to identify her, okay? Some divine feminines are soft and sweet. Some are sacred. Some are bad ASS. Some are dark feminines. Like, we have to figure out who your divine feminine is first. So who is your divine feminine, my group ones? And then we're going to get some cards to see how you could step more into it. Please spirit, my group ones. Who is their divine feminine? Who is their divine feminine? Let me go into detail about who the divine feminine is. We have Knight of Pentacles. So she's patient. She has goals. So ambitious. I'm hearing steadfast, forthcoming. Ace of Wands is confirming that for me. She's very passionate. She likes to do things that people won't expect. I heard out of the box, right? Things that surprise people. She likes to surprise people. Your divine feminine, right? She may come off as like a little bit docile, patient, very earthy, but deep within her, she wants to release her inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin, right? So I think your divine feminine wants to be freed, and she wants to do more spontaneous, fun, passionate things. I feel like, I don't know if you hold her on a rein, or you hold her back, or it's kind of like, I hate using this example, but this is the best example that I can come up with in the 50 Shades of Grey books. Yes, I read all of them. Yes, I did. Anna, the character in the story, describes her like sacred divine feminine as her inner goddess. So she was like more of like a wallflower, you know, wasn't that experienced, wasn't very worldly, you know, didn't have many boyfriends, didn't know how to, like, you know, what the opposite sex wanted from her or anything. She was, you know, confident, she was smart, she was intelligent, but she wasn't like out there. She wasn't, you know, not bouncing off the walls, but she wasn't like chasing her every dream. She wasn't extroverted, you know, outgoing, center of attention kind of person. But when she wanted to be, she would call that person her inner goddess. So her inner goddess was preening, her inner goddess was smiling at her, her inner goddess was, you know, laughing at her. And I love that. What's the lady's name? E.L. James included that in the book, because we all have an inner goddess, an inner feminine that wants to be seen, that wants to express herself. And sometimes we don't allow our divine feminines to express themselves, especially if we don't resonate fully, or we're not comfortable or confident enough to be who she is fully, you know? So if she's more extroverted, she's more sexy, she's more flirty, and you don't feel like you embody those things well, of course you're going to suppress that side of you. But your inner divine feminine is very flirty. She wants to travel. She wants to move. She wants to experience things, okay? She wants to learn. And she wants to learn through doing, because that's the best way to learn. Hands-on experience is what I just heard. I'm screaming hands-on experience. Yeah, she wants to get her hands dirty, right? Up to her elbows in new experiences. Even some drama, right? Dancing when nobody's watching, even if people are watching. And here we have the Crown of Cups, which is the King of Cups. So yeah, someone who's very in tune with themselves, okay? And what they want and who they are. That's who your divine feminine is. I do want some more cards. We could always get a little bit more. Who is my group one's divine feminine? Please, spirit. Who is their divine feminine? My group ones, please, spirit, their divine feminine. Who is she? So this, of course, this is the modern goddess tarot deck. So the king is coming out as a queen, but very feminine. okay? But very earthy, very grounded, very patient. She's not, okay, so I don't know how to explain it. Like, she's not the bouncing off the walls kind of divine feminine. She is one that is quietly passionate, quietly confident. She doesn't have to be the loudest in the room to gain attention or for people to be attracted to her. People are attracted to her groundedness, her earthiness, her realness, right? Her kindness, her emotional intelligence, her intuition, right? Her need or want or ability to take care of people and things, to nurture them, okay? Your divine feminine, we have Seven of Pentacles. This is so cute. So yeah, you are definitely giving, like, I don't know. You have like a child, inner child within you. Of course, everyone does. But what I mean with you, there's like a child, an innocence, I guess you could say. An innocence to you, a purity, right? Your divine feminine is quite pure. I'm hearing cheeky. She's quite cheeky. It's kind of like a little, that sounds, it can count, I don't want it to sound condescending because it's not. She's just like, she's thirsty to learn more and experience more. As of right now, she's more in the background, chilling, hanging out, doesn't mind being a wallflower, doesn't mind being the fly on the wall and watching everyone else experience life. But she does want to dip her toes in, get her toes, her hands dirty every once in a while. With this Ace of Wands coming through here, she does want to make and create and do things. So the Ace of Wands does give me the inner artist. It gives me like someone painting. You know, in this case, especially, I'm seeing like someone painting a canvas. Your inner goddess, your inner divine feminine wants to do those things, wants to paint, wants to sing, wants to dance, wants to feel the sun on their cheeks, wants to frolic in meadows, wants to pick flowers, wants to be surrounded by beauty, are the vibes that's coming through. So you're a divine feminine, okay? But the Seven of Pentacles is working towards something. Your divine feminine wants to work and wants to build something from the ground up, because the Nine of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles coming out all have to do with like hard work, determination, taking the long way, not rushing to do anything or be someone. So it's kind of giving, what do they call those people? Late bloomers, people who bloom late in life, who learn things differently, who aren't like having boyfriends and girlfriends at 15, 16, 14, 13 years old. Like, you're having your first relationship when you're older. You're experiencing life when you're older, when you're more confident in who you are, when you've built the building blocks, when you know who you are, because that keeps coming through. The King of Cups, I feel like, really knows who he is. He loves being by himself. He thrives in his own little island, okay? But he's also someone who can be that strong, like, I'm hearing tether for other people, you know? To build off of, to bounce off of, to share ideas, to come and gain wisdom from. I love how they say the crone in this deck, because the king is the last of the courts. That's the most you can mature. That's the most you can ascend without, you know, touching the major arcana in the tarot decks. The kings are the highest of the highs. They're ruling over everything. So at that point, when you become a king of any suit, you've learned all that needs to be learned from that suit. And you guys got the King of Cups. So you've learned all that you need to know about your emotions, your intuition, your emotional realm, helping others, being kind, being compassionate, being empathic. Your divine feminine is very strong. Those are her strong suits, right? And now with the Ace of Wands coming out, it's kind of telling me she wants to move in a more creative path. Yeah, direction is the word I was looking for. She wants to move in a more creative direction. She wants to now feel and touch and do instead of just, no, she wants to do instead of feel. I explained that wrong. I was like, oh yeah, but she still wants to feel, right? But she's done feeling all the things. Now she wants to put those feelings to action, you know? Seven, I love how the Seven of Pentacles is like a pregnant lady. So you are like giving mom vibes, you know, your mother kind of energy. And that's why I'm getting really strong Pentacle vibes from you, Mother Gaia energy from you. It's kind of like you're a lightning rod. What do they call that? A conductor? There's a word. I don't think it's conductor though. You're something for electricity. Maybe it is conductor. I don't think it is though. The word is not coming through. but it's like something that can hold electricity without being fried, you know? Maybe it is a conductor, honestly. Like, 'cause I'm thinking of how in The Flash, Barry would compare or say that Iris is his lightning rod. So when he lost his magic, there was this is a beautiful example. Okay, let's go with it. So in The Flash, for those who don't know, The Flash is a DC comic character and he's the fastest man alive. And he got his powers by being struck by electricity, by lightning one day, by a particle accelerator. So essentially it's kind of like, and before that he was a very innocent, very nerdy, very law-abiding good boy, good pupil kind of energy, a scientist, always did what he was told, law-abiding citizen, until he was struck by lightning one day and he learned that he could like move really fast. And then those abilities started to build and grow and expand, and he was able to go back in time, go forward in time. He was able to use his lightning abilities to shoot lightning out of his hands. Like, he was able to create like tornadoes, and I'm like, he was able to do so many things just with that one stroke of lightning that happened to him one day. And that's the kind of energy that's coming through here. Your divine feminine wants to be struck by lightning, right? She wants to now do things that she wasn't able to do. She wants to mobilize, is what I'm hearing. She wants to move, okay? Grow so even more, because Seven of Pentacles is about, you know, setting down the roots and watching the things you've planted grow. So maybe she wants to plant seriously. Maybe you have a green thumb or she has a green thumb and she wants to see things grow around her and flourish, you know? But essentially in the show, his speed comes from being struck by lightning. And I think he ends up losing his speed or someone steals it from him. And because Iris is his other half, his soulmate, his twin flame, I guess, if you will, she holds a piece of his power, his electricity inside of her. So when he loses his powers in the show, Iris is the one who's able to give it back to him because she's his lightning rod. So whenever he needs to be zapped by power or by lightning, there comes Iris as his lightning rod, the person who holds him steady and can control all the more maybe eccentric things about him. She's not going to be overpowered, overtired, overcharged. The lightning rod can hold the electricity that he wields, essentially. So that's the kind of energy that's coming through here. You're that lightning rod for other people, I'm assuming. But now I do believe that you're lightning rod. You being the lightning rod, you now want to shoot lightning out of I'm not explaining this properly. You want to do, experience, and shake things up now. Your divine feminine is like, okay, I'm done being the wallflower. I want to be the troublemaker now. Okay? So I feel like if you are someone who's like more comfortable being on the sidelines, your divine feminine is encouraging you to do more things. Step out of your comfort zone, get crazy, get wild. If you want to have fun and do something crazy, let me stop. The Jersey Shore song is coming through. Get crazy, get wild. If you want to have fun and do something crazy. Like, that's your divine feminine. She wants to come out of her shell, essentially. Okay, so to answer the question about how to step into your divine feminine, do more crazy things, okay? Your divine feminine is comfortable being the builder, the grower, the nurturer, the carer, okay? Now your divine feminine wants to experience being the hunter and gatherer. She wants to experience being the life of the party. She wants some excitement, okay? You've been docile, you've been quiet, you've been sheltered for too long. Your divine feminine wants to experience some new, exciting things. Now let's get some cards from this deck here, the Mermaid Oracle deck, and see the things that you can actually do. And look at how we were talking about inner child, and inner child came out. These cards are so pretty. It just strikes me every time. Let us see. How can you step more into your divine feminine power? Listen. Interesting. See, now every time I get this card, I'm going to start thinking of the song from, what is it called? I'm saying Mean Girls. No, Dream Girls, okay? How the song Listen that Beyonce sings, and the song's about her releasing herself and she's untethering herself from her husband. I forget who's her husband in the movie. It's either Jamie Foxx or Eddie Murphy's character, right? And she's like, I'm more than what you made of me. I follow the voice you think you gave to me, and now it's time to find my own. I don't know where I belong, but I'll be moving on if you don't and if you won't listen. So maybe you're someone who's always listening to everyone else's problems. Maybe it's time for you to start causing your own problems. Maybe it's time for you to start causing your own ruckus. Maybe you're the friend that's like, doesn't have any issues, never has boy problems, never has love problems. You never get in trouble. Like I said, a wallflower, you're just watching everyone else live their life. You know what I mean? And now it's time for you to start being the one causing trouble, stirring up drama, having good, juicy stories to come tell your friends. That's how you can step more into your divine feminine energy, do more artistic things, put yourself out there, get more hobbies, just to live life. I think your divine feminine really just wants to live, right? Because you have been on the wall for so long, on the bench for so long. Now your divine feminine wants to play the game. She's like, I'm sick of watching everyone else play basketball. I don't want to bench warm anymore. I want to be the star of the show. And putting yourself in situations where you can like flex your creativity or just dance and just experience life, do exciting things. I feel like that's how you can step more into divine feminine energy. Okay, that's the vibe that I'm getting here. But listening, like I said, is giving me the song. Release yourself, relinquish yourself from other people's control or caring what other people think, essentially. Inner child is that energy of not caring what people think about you. What I love about kids so much is that they can just do anything and they could fall on their butt and not care. It's not until we reach like middle school, high school that we become more aware. We hit puberty that we become more aware. And we're like, oh my gosh, people are watching us, and now we're all shy and gangly and going through puberty, and we don't want no one to see us or touch us, whatever. And the inner child is like, just go and do things. Children be doing the stupidest things, saying the dumbest stuff, being truthful, living their truth, jumping off things, like and even if they get hurt, they don't care. They'll go and do it again, right? That's the kind of energy I feel like you need to, tap into in order to feel more at home with your divine feminine, to feel more at home with your divine feminine, because she's growing and evolving. And I believe that she wants you to grow and evolve with her. Okay. One more card from this deck, please. One more card from this deck. How can my group ones step into their divine feminine power? Feel more at home with her, I want to say as well. One more card from this deck. How can they feel more at home in the divine feminine? We have give and receive. This is an interesting energy here. And we have laugh out loud coming through here. It's like big belly laughs. Yeah. Laughing can definitely, help you get in touch with your divine feminine. I feel like just living life and experiencing new things constantly is what I feel like will help you to connect. Because like I told you guys, like I didn't feel equipped to do this reading until like last week. And it wasn't until I was going out more, I was putting myself out there, going to like mixers with other people who are looking to meet new people, just meeting new people. And just like when you experience those new things, you feel like you can do anything. You feel unstoppable. I'm like, oh, new people, new friends. Like I went out with like a whole new friend group. I'm meeting new people, going out to new places like almost every week. And it's just like, it's exciting to step into that energy, laugh with new people, make new friends. Even if you never see them again, you have that one moment, you have memories to look back on, you know what I mean? Instead of just staying at home by yourself. Like I love that vibe. I love that. That's my vibe as well. But I am trying to be more outgoing in these recent years. And I feel like it's helping me connect with my divine feminine, because when a guy holds the door open for me or, is more extra careful with me, and, I'm like, oh, maybe I can be this delicate divine feminine energy and not always be in my masculine, where I could do it myself, Like, let the guy hold the door. Let him do this. Like, so, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. So I met these two guys at this event that I went to. And they had invited me, or one of them invited me out to go to their friends, like DJ set at another place. And I'm like, yeah, I have no work tomorrow. Let's go. So he introduced me to his other friend, and then we drive over to the next place. We spend the whole night together, just chilling, having a good time, playing beer pong, whatever. And they're always asking throughout the night, are you okay? Are you good? And I'm like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to, first of all, being around men, because grew up in a house full of women, and I've never felt that comfortable around men. And I'm learning how to by, talking to them, interacting with them, befriending them, right? So I'm out with these guys and they're like always asking, like, are you okay? Are you good? And that's usually my job when I'm out with friends or with anyone. I want to make sure everyone is okay. So the fact that I was getting it in return, I'm like, oh, okay. It felt nice. And then when we were playing beer pong, of course, the balls are flying everywhere. Like, I was running around the bar trying to pick up the balls, and one of the guys was like, no, stop. I'll get them. I don't want you bending down to get the balls. And I'm like, ooh, hold up, what you mean? And I'm just like, I was just like living life. Like, when it came to drinks, I didn't spend no money. The drinks were being bought for me by a guy that I had met there, those guys too, their friend, the DJ guy. And I'm like, wait, is this how life is when you put yourself out there and do things you've never done before? Like, I could have went straight home from work, but I'm like, no, let me go out and see what happens. And that was a beautiful night that I can always remember, whether I see those guys or not. It's a beautiful memory to pull from. Like, yes, you can be soft, you can be delicate. Yes, there are guys that are out there that are gentlemanly and they're not expecting anything more from you. They're not trying to proposition you or say, oh yeah, because we bought you this and we did that, now you gotta go home and do this or that. I'm like, it was chill vibes the whole night. When it was time for us to go home, they dropped me off at the train station because they don't want me to walk. And I'm like, is this what life is? Like, I was feeling myself, guys. I was like, oh, this is nice. I like this. And that's the vibe that's coming through. That's why I feel like I'm more able to do this reading now, because I feel like I tapped into my divine feminine energy this whole weekend. Because it was Thursday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I was shopping out with my best friend yesterday. We were buying stuff, feeling cutesy, trying on makeup, buying new stuff. And I'm like, oh, life can be really good sometimes. Like, that's the energy I feel like your divine feminine wants to experience as well. Going out, being treated, being nice, realizing how good life can get and that you deserve certain things, so that there are people out there willing to do things for you without wanting something in return. That's why we have this give and receive card here, because you could be someone who's used to always giving, and now it's time for you to give and receive. Okay? Period. And then laugh out loud, having fun. But I do feel like there's something here about like painting, drawing, dancing, singing. And that's also something that I was doing with them, because the guy that I met first was like a singer. And he was like, oh, you sing? So I'm like, yeah. We were singing together the whole night. Not the whole night, but some of the night. And then we went to the next place. We were dancing. They were just so free. And it was just so beautiful to see people who are just like so uncaring and just could live and dance and not care what everyone around them is thinking. And I'm like, you know what? Y'all taught me something tonight, and I appreciate y'all. I'll remember y'all forever. Let me stop. But that's the vibe that I'm getting from your divine feminine. That's how you can tap more into her, okay? So let's see what comes through in this next deck, and then that will be the end of your reading. But maybe just, feeling the world around you and seeing how other people are living, and maybe like if you ever felt the need to do what they're doing, or you see, oh, them doing it, and you feel, oh, I want to do that, just do it, Like Nike says, just do it. Are these the cards? Yeah, these are going to be the next ones that I pulled from. Okay, for my group ones, please, Spirit, for my group ones. For my group ones, how can they best tap into their divine feminine, please, Spirit, for my group ones. Ooh, these are way too many, don't do that. They said you have a lot of work. Excuse me. Not too much for my group ones. Thank you. And I have like one or two cards. Are those two exactly? See, you ask for what you want and you'll get it. Because I asked for two and I got two. Here we have good things come in threes, right? This is cute. I love this card. Look at this. Good things come in threes. This came out in another reading, so you could be from that same reading as well. I forget what the reading was about, but here we are. So how can you tap more into your divine feminine? Good things come in threes. I don't know. Maybe go make friends. Maybe you have a friend group and there's three of you. Maybe it's time for you to go out. Maybe good things will come to you guys when you go out with these three specific friends or two friends, including yourself. Right? Because look at how they're all like looking mischievous and cute and like, yeah, we're the prize. You know what I mean? Please us. Treat us. That kind of thing. So maybe when you tap into that, like, come hither, flirty, dark feminine energy, honestly. Because I do believe dark feminines don't really care what anyone thinks about them. They're very much just like, this is my world and everyone revolves around it. I mean, yeah, honestly, this is my world and everyone revolves around it. So I'm living in my own life, and everyone that's not in my world is not the main character. They're side characters. They're playing a part in my overall story. You are acting like you're the side character in your own story. Like I said, wallflower vibes. And your divine feminine is like, we're not no dang wallflower. Yeah, we may be patient and kind and, more earthy and down to earth. That don't mean we can't be a baddie. Okay, baddies can be very earthy and grounded as well. They don't have to be wearing revealing clothes or loud or obnoxious to live life and experience things. You can be quiet and passionate, right? Okay. But that's what this is giving me here. They're not even saying anything. Their mouth's not even open. They're just looking at someone like, yeah, come here. So maybe you have a group of friends you feel most comfortable with, if that's what it takes, going out with them in order for you to tap into this energy. Sometimes, and even watch what they're doing sometimes, and to take in a little of what they're doing and try to do it yourself. If they're flirting and batting their eyelashes and you're like, oh, I can't do that, try. Okay, but this good come in threes. Of course, good things come in threes. Things can be coming into your life, you know, maybe when you tap into this energy, more your divine feminine energy, maybe things will come to you more easily, right? But I'm definitely getting, there's something here about a specific friend group or people that your divine feminine like feels most safe with, I guess you could say, right? And then here we have naughty, naughty. These cards coming out together is blowing my mind right now, because good things come in threes. They're looking very mischievous in this card here. And then we have naughty, naughty, another mischievous child. And you guys also have got inner child over here. So releasing your inhibitions literally came out in the first few minutes of the reading. That's what your divine feminine, that's how you could tap into her more, right? That's how you can become more feminine, release your inhibitions. When you're like, oh no, what will they think? Who cares? Just do it anyway. What is the thing people are saying now? Do it for the plot. That's it. Do it for the plot. That's all that matters. Do it with your friends. It doesn't matter who's watching. As long as you're having a good time in the moment with your friends, who cares what anyone else thinks? That is literally what this reading is about. Who cares? Do what you want to do. Live how you want to live. And that's how you'll tap into your divine feminine energy. And there's also a song coming through. Who Says by Selena Gomez. Who says you're not perfect? Who says you're not worth it? Who says you're the only one that's heard it? Trust me, that's the price of beauty. Who says you're not pretty? Who says you're not beautiful? Who says? So that song is coming through by Selena, so maybe go listen to that one. And that's all I have for you guys. I don't want this to be too long. I hope it resonated for somebody out there. Like, just be yourself, please. Go and get crazy. Like I said, the Jersey Shore song. Like, go do what Snooki and JWoww and all them girls was doing, getting crazy, shaking them cities, getting drunk. Please. But safely, please. Thank you, that part. Okay? But if it did resonate, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you would ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group 2s. Welcome to your reading. If you chose thumbnail image 2 or however you made your way here, welcome. Today's reading is going to be about who is your divine feminine. We're going to get into who she is, a little bit more about her, and how can you tap into the energy of her better. This was a requested reading by someone in the comments. I forgot what video it was about, but I wrote it down in my notes, and I've been looking at it every time I'm trying to figure out what reading to do, but it never felt good until recently, because I feel like over this past weekend, from last Thursday to now, I haven't like lived a whole life, child. And I feel like I've experienced new feelings and emotions and like experiences that open me up to my divine feminine energy. Because it's hard for me to be in my divine feminine energy. It's hard for me to be cutesy and bubbly and carefree. It's hard for me to receive. It's hard for me to like not want to have control of everything. It's hard for me to release control, which is something else that I learned. See, y'all getting all my business, but it's fine. For example's sake, I'm gonna tell you the tea, okay? But give me a second to get into it. I've learned that I really like have trouble releasing control. It was I'll tell you the example that I have in a minute, but right, being in my divine masculine is so much more easier for me, because I just want to do everything, control everything, and I don't really want to wait for things to come. I want to do, and conquer and stuff like that. So I didn't feel comfortable doing this kind of reading in that kind of energy. But now that I feel in a more divine feminine energy, I feel like I could do this reading and tap into your divine feminine, and how can you tap better into her, okay? So, for example's sake, right, some of y'all could have control issues. Some of y'all could be very hyper independent, hyper masculine, all that kind of stuff, because it's coming through right off the bat. And I'm just like talking, and sometimes when I talk or channel, whatever you want to call it, messages just come through naturally. But for example, I went to a mixer on Thursday after work, and it was basically like, a singles mixer, people who want to get to know people, whatever. And it was like at like this like gaming bar in the city, and it was like the cutest little thing ever. And I met some people. I always mostly meet women at these freaking events because it's so much easier for me to interact with women, which is why I'm trying to be more steadfast and what is it? Steadfast is the proper word. I'm trying to be more steadfast in interacting with the opposite sex. Cause I don't think I'm awkward around men, but it's hard for me to be like soft and cutesy sometimes, you know? And I say that and then people are like, no, that's not true, but I feel that way. And as long as you feel that way, that barrier will always be there. So I'm trying to be more, to get rid of it so I don't feel that way anymore. But it's not, for example, at this event, they did like a whole bunch of different games, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, this is cute. And one of the games was you have to blindfold yourself and unclip a bunch of clips off of a man. I'm like, what the hell? What are you talking about? They're like, yeah, it's supposed to be an iceberg. I'm like, I ain't breaking none of that ice. Y'all better stay on my face with all that. Okay. But I ended up doing it. I put on the blindfold and I felt so uncomfortable, guys. I was ready to rip it off and start swinging and fighting. So I'm just like, I can't see anything. I don't know where I'm going. And they're like, okay, put on the blindfold. And one of the people who are curating the event will lead you over to the guy. And essentially, you have to feel all over the guy and find every single clip. And I'm like, what the hell? And they're not blindfolded, so they can see you and everything you're doing, but you can't see nothing. I'm like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm not doing it. And then one of the girls that was there, oh, come on, do it. I'll do it with you. I'm like, fine, whatever. Okay, I'm trying to put myself out of my comfort zone. Let's do it. I was fidgeting with that blindfold the whole time, or whatever the mask they put on us. I'm like, I don't like this. I want to snatch it off so badly. And that's when I realized it's hard for me to give up control, even in that smallest of most innocent of circumstance. I'm like, what if something happens? What if I don't like the thought of people seeing me, but I can't see them. I don't like the thought of standing in front of this man. He's like looking wherever he wants to look and I can't see where he's looking and I'm just touching clips on him. I'm just like, I didn't like it at all, but I did it. I'm proud of myself. But that one instance right there showed me just how bad and how anxious I would get in that situation where I'm giving up control to somebody else. And I'm like, you know what? I learned something new about myself and also went out of my comfort zone, right? And he was leaving me the whole time. And I was just feeling all over him. And he was nice. I'm like, okay, you feel nice, sir. But I didn't want to. I'm like, is this okay? Is this okay? Like, he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, okay, did I get all the clips? No, there's more. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm just feeling all over him. And I'm just like, just feeling solid muscle. I'm like, oh, hello. I'm not mad, but I'm also really nervous. I don't like this feeling. Okay. And I'm like, is this enough? And I'm like, where's the other clips? It's like lower. And I'm just like, okay, fine. And then I found all the clips and I'm proud of myself. Like, you know, whatever. But it was nerve wracking in the moment. And he's like leading me. I'm literally giving my power over to this person that I don't know and hoping that he leads me in the right direction. Is not going to just tell me, oh yeah, right there, lower. Oh, and just to have a woman feeling all over him. You never know. People are weird out here, you know, but I did it. He was a cool person. We like talked a little bit after and before. Everything, you know, was chill and cool at the end of the day, but it just showed me how much I can't relinquish control, guys. Okay, so that could be, like I said. Now let's get into the reading. That's enough of story time, but if that resonated for you, then you're in the right place. Okay, we're going to tap into who your divine feminine is and how you can better tap into her. And thank you for the person who requested this reading. Okay, my group 2, please, Spirit, can you tap me into their divine feminine energy? Can you tap me into their divine feminine energy, please, Spirit? I'm really here with something. You better give me something. We have 9 of Cups, but we have the 8 of Swords. Interesting. So your divine feminine is more timid. She's more shy. It takes a little playing around with her to get her out of her shell, out of her comfort zone. And it's funny, literally, guys, I was talking about being blindfolded and look at what we get, the 8 of Swords. Okay, so yeah, if you won't resonate with that story in the beginning, this ain't for you, okay? But there's something here about you not liking to relinquish control, because that's essentially what the 8 of Swords is about. Not making yourself the victim, not always thinking something bad is going to happen to you if you do certain things, right? That's the kind of energy coming through. And your divine feminine is more timid. She's a little bit more shy, a little bit more calculated, doesn't want to always put herself out there all the time, you know? And then we have the Nine of Cups. So she's very, like, I'm hearing smug, you know? She likes to think she knows everything and there's nothing that she can't do. But then when it comes time to doing it, she's, you know, oh, I can, you know what I mean? Or I won't, or I'm scared kind of energy. But then you always think you could do everything. I don't know. Let's see what else comes up. We have Eight of Pentacles. I want one more card. My group 2 is Divine Feminine. Like, I'm trying to find a perfect example to describe what I feel this energy is giving me. So someone who's like, I'm not scared of anything. I could do whatever. I could do this. I could do that. But you're never putting yourself in those situations for real to test your merit, right? Your true grit. You don't know if you can. You just think you can. That's that self-satisfied Nine of Cups energy, you know, comfortable where you're at. You're not willing to go for the gold kind of energy, you know? That's the vibe that's coming through. But you are definitely someone who wants to experience all their heart's desires. Your Divine Feminine wants a lot. She yearns. Oh, that's a beautiful way to put it. I love. Okay, you guys could be poetic or romantic at hearts, or romantics at heart. I can't talk today. Jesus Christ. Okay, one more card. One more card though. Sorry if I see them all over the place. Forgive me. You guys could also have that tendency as well. And then we have the Crone of Pentacles. I love that. Group 1 got a crone. You got a crone. Everybody gets a crone. Okay, let me stop. But yeah, you're definitely someone who's set in their ways. It takes a lot for you to do something that you don't feel comfortable doing, is what I'm getting basically from this Eight of Swords and the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles can be someone who thinks, I've experienced it all, I've seen it all, I've done it all. And in many cases, he has experienced it all and done it all. Like I said, you could be someone who is quite smug, or your Divine Feminine is quite smug of, oh, I've done everything. There's nothing else for me to do or conquer. But there's always new things for you to do and conquer, honestly, you know? That is how I feel like you're setting yourself back, by always thinking, I've done everything, I've seen everything, there's nothing else that I need to learn or know. But there's always going to be something you need to learn or know, is the vibe that's coming through here for your Divine Feminine, okay? Not too much on her. I'm just trying to, you know, describe what's coming through right now, okay? She is someone who thinks, oh, I'm safe in my little prison here, and I've experienced it all. I can live my best life from this little prison of my own making here with my thoughts and words and emotions. I could do that. That's fine. But then sometimes when you're put in certain positions, you realize just how much of a scaredy cat you really are. But you are fearless as well, because you do. I feel like because I went after what I wanted, not even wanted, but I did it, and I overcame that one obstacle on that one night, that fated night. And I overcame it, even though I didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, suck it up. Let's do this. We're a big girl. Let's put on our big girl pants and do it. And I ended up doing it. And I enjoyed it. I was filling up on a nice muscly man. Okay. He was leading me, and I was able to relinquish control and learn how to, like, sit in my feminine for those few minutes or that 1 minute and 30 seconds that I was fighting all the clips on his body. Okay. So it's like, so you think you know everything, or you think you've seen it all and done it all, but you really haven't, right? And that thought or worldview can kind of be holding your Divine Feminine back a little bit, okay? But look at how we have this Nine of Cups here. Like, oh, I have it all. I have my wish. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to do anything else. I've mastered everything. The Eight of Pentacles is the card of mastery. I've done it all. I've experienced this. And it's kind of like, no, you haven't. Because after the Nine of Cups is the Ten of Cups, which is even better. If you were to just get out of this mindset of, oh, yeah, I've done that already. I've been there, done that. No, you haven't. Continue learning and continue putting yourself out there, no matter how many times you've done it so already, okay? And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, yeah, I'm a master. I've mastered my craft already. No, because then after that, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is you're self-sufficient, you know? You don't have to work as hard. You're independent, you know? And then after the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Pentacles, which is even better. So don't hold yourself back a little bit. I feel like your Divine Feminine can, like, think, oh, this is good enough. I don't have to keep going. I've learned enough. I don't have to keep learning. That kind of energy. So just be careful with that, guys. I just felt the need to say that, okay? But Eight of Swords is like anxiety. So I do feel like your Divine Feminine likes to just sit back and watch, or feel like I have nothing left to learn, you know, or something like that. Because the King of Pentacles is the end. Like I was telling group 1 when they got the King of Cups, The king is the master of that suit. Once you reach king status, there's nothing more you can do to become better at your game, your craft, whatever. So once you're a king of pentacles, there's no higher you can go without going to the major arcanas. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the suits. You know what I mean? And the king of pentacles is the highest of that of the pentacles, right? So you think, I don't need to do anymore. Your ego could be, really big, guys. Or you just, I don't know, like too comfortable. I'm hearing sloth for some of you. So the one of the deadly sins, sloth, is like being lazy or not wanting to do anything, being unmotivated. Like once you reach one pinnacle, you're comfortable there. You don't want to keep going, right? I've done it all now, but there's never going to be enough doing in the world or learning or experiencing kind of energy. So your divine feminine is just like, okay, I've painted these 10 pictures or these 8 pictures. I'm done. And your creativity is like, wait, we have so much more that we want to show the world and experience. You're like, no, this is fine. And your divine feminine is like, no, we want to do more, right? So that could be something like a struggle, a battle you deal with. Like, no, I'm done enough. And your inner goddess, like I use for group 1, it's like, no, we need to do more. We need to take over the world, right? And I feel like you could be scared of that not drive, but that impulse in you to want more, which is why you try to like trap yourself in the 8 of Pentacles or 8 of Swords kind of energy. Okay, so that's who your divine feminine is, honestly. And I love how it's giving, I don't know. Some of you could be like painters. Because now I'm hearing that song by, what's her name? Norah Jones. If I were a painter, I would paint my reverie if that's the only way for you to be with me. So it's like reverie, dreaming, dreamer, romantic at heart, that kind of thing. You're always in the state of yearning instead of like actually going for what you're yearning for. Like, does that make sense to you guys in some kind of way? Like, I feel like I'm trying to explain it and then contradict myself. So like, you go after what you want. Your divine feminine wants, like I said. Yes, your divine feminine yearns and wants and craves certain things, but at the same time and in the same breath doesn't go after what they truly want, right? So your divine feminine is yearning for more romance, more whimsy, I feel like, in your life. She wants this wish that she's yearning for. And I kind of feel like this, 8 of Swords, is kind of like, oh no, we're good here. We're going to play it safe. And your divine feminine was like, we don't want to play it safe though. We want to keep going, right? And I do believe the King of Pentacles can be set in his ways and complacent, even though he can't be at the same time, because he's the King of Pentacles, and that means he's worked hard his whole life, Like, can you, like, I don't understand. Like, like, I'm trying to understand, and then I'm like, okay, I understand. And then another facet comes, and I'm like, wait, maybe I don't understand. You guys, your divine feminine, So maybe she's very... Is it like paradoxical, if that's even a word? Like sometimes she's complacent and happy, and then other times kind of like there's this empty chasm inside of her that just needs and craves more and more. So it's like, which one is it? Are we scared or are we satisfied? Like, that's what these 2 cards are giving me. The 8 of Swords is scared. The 9 of Cups is satisfied, right? The 8 of Pentacles is work, master. And the King of Pentacles is we're good where we're at. Like, we've reached the pinnacle. There's nowhere else for us to go. We're rich. That's it. So like, why are these cards contradicting each other? If you weren't contradicting yourself, or your divine feminine wasn't. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, let's see what else comes through. We need more cards for y'all. I think we need more cards for y'all. But each of these cards here is giving me someone posing for something. Some of you could be like models, or you have dreams to live like this whirlwind life of traveling, doing art, singing, modeling, acting, art, painting, whatever, drawing, animation, making movies, screenwriting. You have dreams, lofty dreams of doing those things, but on the other hand, you're very complacent because you don't go after it, and your divine feminine is like just stuck in this yearning of, I want it, but I'm scared. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm there, but there's more for me to learn. Like, I hope that makes sense. My group twos, please, Spirit. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse, but I'm going to keep shuffling and see if she comes back out. We have the Page of Pentacles. Look at this. Like, I have an idea. There's something that I want to do and plant, but I'm still in the beginning stages. So it's like, I don't know, uncertainty. So I feel like, yeah, that's what I was saying. Uncertain, shy, timid. That's the kind of vibes. Or just like really innocent. You know what I mean? Or naive. Your divine feminine is kind of like, I'm seeing, there's like an oracle deck. The first oracle deck that I ever bought, it was like the Oracle of the Dragons, or the Dragon Oracle deck. And there's this one dragon. I forget what her name is. I don't think it's Herne. Herne, or HERNE, is a guy, and I thought it was a girl. But is it like Harmony or something? Harmony in the Dragon Oracle, I believe it's Harmony or something. He said, the guy who made the deck said that she was the first dragon he met that was shy. And when he met her, she was behind a curtain, right? And I'm like, that's very interesting. It always blew my mind that he like said he, you know, convened with the dragons and then made this oracle deck. And I'm like, at first, when I first started spirituality, I'm like, he ain't did that. Stop lying. And now that I'm like, 5 years in, I'm like, you know what? Maybe he did convene with the dragons and make the oracle deck. Because I be having some crazy dreams. And I be thinking they're dreams, or what if they're not, right? See, and there's something here about dreams that keep coming through. You have a lot of dreams. So your inner divine feminine is a dreamer. She's a dreamer. She's a painter. She's a songstress. But she's like too scared to go after what she wants. She's that dragon that's big and mighty and fierce. But the first time you meet her, she's hiding behind the curtain. Shy, you know? Interesting. But at the same time, full of life. But I keep forgetting to say it. These women are giving me people who pose for paintings. This Crone of Pentacles is giving me someone posing for a painting. Right? That's the vibe that I'm getting from her. And then it also looks like she's posing for a painting. Right? And then she's actually painting. So maybe, yeah, there's something creatively that your, you know, divine feminine wants to do. And that's like her dream, her wish come true. But it's like she's not doing it because the first card to come on is like, hey, we're trapped. We're stuck. We're anxious. We're scared. Okay. Not what I was expecting, but it came through. And the Page of Pentacles is that energy of wanting to embark on something, but having to start completely over. And that could be very scary for someone whose divine feminine feels as if, or resonates mostly with being a King of Pentacles, which is someone who's conquered and overcome everything, you know? Let's see what else comes out. My group twos, divine feminine, we have Ace of Pentacles, so money, she loves that. And then we have Knight of Swords, going after what you want, but you see how it came out in reverse? This is very interesting reading, guys. Your divine feminine is very contradictory. She loves a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Multifaceted queen that she is, or person, I don't know who's watching this reading. Okay, so you have this Knight of Swords, which is speaking up, going after what you want, you know, charging, taking the reins and making the choices and doing whatever it takes to get your dream and get what you want. That's what this Knight of Swords is definitely giving me here. And then we have the Page of Pentacles, someone unafraid to start over and be new at something, but also at the same time, you think you see. So maybe your divine feminine is someone who's young, but also a crone, who's also very wise. So you guys are giving me, in one way, shape, or form, the triple moon goddess. You're a mother, you're the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The maiden is someone who's inexperienced in life. Page of Pentacles. The mother, okay, is someone who is learning. She's taking steps in her life to become someone who's like, you know, a little bit more experienced, right? She has kids now. She has people depending on her. She's no longer a maiden on her own. Now she's more mature, right? More seasoned. And then after that, we have the crone energy, which is coming through. The Knight of Swords could be that mother. She's someone who's more confident in who she is and to go after what she wants. And then we have this crone, which is someone who's like just naturally wise and naturally, I don't know, like intuitive and knows what to do and what not to do. You naturally know the way to go, or you naturally come up with ideas to make money and or dreams. Like I said, lofty dreams that people think they're not going to come true, but you're able to come up with certain things that you want to do in your life. You're able to come up with certain paintings, certain business plans, certain models, You know what I mean? That kind of energy. I'm getting that vibe strongly from you guys. The triple moon goddess, you can resonate with that. You can go from being the maiden, the mother, then the crone. And then even when you're in your crone energy, you can flip back to being the maiden. It's like you can, you know, move throughout the three energies, I guess you can say. Because the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles and the Crown of Pentacles is someone who's like very much like Ace of Pentacles starting things off. Page of Pentacles, it's the same energy, honestly. They're both starting, okay? The pages are the messengers. They're going forth and conquering something, planting seeds, making moves, okay? And then eventually this page becomes the Crown of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and we have both showing up for your Divine Feminine. You understand what I'm saying? Then we also have the the Knight of Swords, sorry, coming through for your energy as well. Right, in your Divine Feminine, so very talkative. Maybe she's someone who's always bombarding you with ideas, you know what I mean? Which is why we have this girl working on 8 paintings simultaneously, because you start off with one idea and then you just get another idea, you know what I mean? So divinely inspired is the vibe that's coming through for you guys. Your Divine Feminine is divinely inspired. When she comes up with an idea, you can always believe and trust that is guided by spirit. You don't have to worry or second guess. As soon as you get an idea, jump on it and do it with this Page of Pentacles. Because like, look, yeah, we have the Ace of Pentacles and her hand is coming from the heavens. It's like, here, this is something else for you to do to keep you busy, to make you happy. So she could be someone who is hard to please, your Divine Feminine, which would make a lot of sense. Okay, so let's go on to the Oracle cards and see what comes through. My group 2 is Divine Feminine, please, Spirit. How can they better tap into their Divine Feminine energy? That's what we're using these cards for. We have Shapeshift. Yeah, you guys are giving me also manifesting generators. So doing multiple things. Like I said, when you have one project, Spirit gives you another idea and you are able to multitask. You're able to do multiple things at once. So jump on it. Don't wait to finish the first project before you go to the next one. No, you can do all of them at once. Okay? Shapeshifter, doing many things, being many things. Such a pretty card. I'm like, do you want all of these? We have Wanderlust, we have Hidden Treasure, we have Celebration, we have Seize the Day, we have Protection. How can you step into this power? Wanderlust, exploring, going out of your comfort zone, traveling. If you want to get up and do something, do it. Like, Wanderlust always gives me spontaneity, where your heart just always wants to move and go somewhere. It doesn't want to sit still. That's your Divine Feminine. She's like, hey, I want to get up and go. To tap into her more easily, go and wander, walk, take a walk, read a book, takes you elsewhere. Like, I think you're a dreamer. Like, Neptune is kind of coming through for you guys, where your soul just wants to read. And I'm hearing, what's the word? Consume. There it is. Just wants to consume a bunch of stuff. And that's like also the manifesting generator coming through, where you're meant to like indulge in a bunch of different things, have a bunch of different hobbies, a bunch of different life purposes, not just one, which is why you're constantly bombarded by ideas and a bunch of different, sometimes contradictory things or passions. Okay, here we have Celebration. So celebrate yourself along the way. No matter how small the wins are, celebrate you. Okay, because you are worth it, is what I'm hearing. Because you're worth it, period. I felt that. Celebration. And I love how we have this. Oh, this is Hidden Treasure. Well, I thought it was Wanderlust. That's crazy. I'm like, I know they're wandering nowhere. Wanderlust. This is giving Ariel, exploring all her little troves, right? And she had her little hidden treasure of troves. And she's like, look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? And she's like, nah, it's not complete. I want more, and I want more, and I want more. Right? So it's giving Ariel, that's how you tap into your Divine Feminine energy. Just explore, right? Experiences, new experiences, things you want to do, just do them. No matter what your big head father has to say about it. And that could be literal for some of you, okay? Here we have hidden treasure. And this is that wanderlust exploring. So maybe some of you are meant to be pirates, or maybe you feel like you just want to just go and find all the hidden joys in life. Maybe you want to go and experience treasure. You know what I mean? That's the kind of energy you're giving pirate, you're giving wanderer, you're giving voyager, that kind of energy, you know? I'm hearing innovator as well. You're supposed to go and discover new lost civilizations. You're supposed to go and dig up and, you know, stuff like that. You know, discover new things, essentially. Boom. Hidden treasure. Okay, so you're meant to, I'm hearing strike gold. And you cannot strike gold unless you're actively digging for it, right? You see how it all comes together? I love that. Here we have seize the day. That's also another reiteration of wanderlust, hidden treasure, shapeshifter. Go out and do, and do, and do, and do, and try, and fail, and try again. Don't be scared. Don't think, oh, I did that thing, I'm over, I'm done. I've done all that I need to do in my life. No, you're meant to do multiple things, experience multiple things. And I feel like that's how you tap into your divine feminine energy, is to keep doing more things and putting yourself in new rooms, right? And that last but not least, we have protection. So maybe you have to be more protective with yourself, your energy. I'm hearing most importantly, your ideas, your smarts, your wisdom. You have to be more important with that. Like, you could be telling people what you want to do in life and they're going and stealing your ideas, right? Hold your cards close to your chest. Be Seven of Swords-y. Be sneaky. Hold your cards like, I'm not telling you what I'm doing, mind your business. Like, that's the kind of energy, protection. And that doesn't always mean like physical protection. It can be psychic protection, but also protect your brand, protect your ideas, protect what, you know, I just keep hearing brand. Yeah. Trademark something. You know what I mean? If you came up with it and no one else, and then you haven't like, how can I explain it? So for example, people come up with ideas every day. Come up with an idea, and if you have to trademark it before it even becomes a big thing, do that. Because someone else will be like, oh, you tell them about it, or they hear about it, and all of a sudden they're stealing your ideas. You know what I mean? It happens so much on TikTok where one person comes up with an idea to do something and then someone else steals it, right? There was this one lady who made like bookmarks for books, and that turned the books into a purse. Right? So it was like the cutest thing I ever seen in my life. And there was this other girl, of course the lady was black, right? And she put her ideas up on TikTok, and this white lady came and copied her exact same ideas. I'm like, what the hell? Like, certain things you can't even just do, certain things and come up with certain things. You've never seen that before in your life, lady. Now all of a sudden, oh, I have a store as well. Like, I don't like that. Be very protective with your ideas and stuff like that, okay? Your energy as well, your time. Especially because you're meant to be someone who does a lot of things. Time management is going to be very important for you guys. So protection, all its forms, honestly. Okay. What time is it? No, I don't want to see that. Sorry, I'm just here clicking. It's not clicking? Let me stop. I was trying to find out what time it was. 4:08, okay. Pull from one last deck. How can they better tap into their divine feminine? Please, Spirit, my group twos. How can they better tap into their divine feminine? How many cards is this? Okay, we have time to tinker. It's giving Tinkerbell. It's time to try different things. Tinker, that's literally what it was. Because when she used to tinker with a bunch of different stuff, she would be able to make something new out of a bunch of broken pieces or bobs and boils. I'm screaming. So if you guys have never seen Tinkerbell or what is it called, Little Mermaid, I feel like those are your vibe. Tinkerbell is your spirit animal, and so is Ariel. She wants to explore, you know, treasures and troves, a bunch of having mad forks and for no reason, like exploring and hoarding. And then Tinkerbell, she was able to make something new from a bunch of trash and junk. So that could be coming through as well. Time to tinker. Work with your hands is especially important, I feel like. Here we have backwards is forward. So what you think you shouldn't be doing or what doesn't work for you may work for you indeed. I don't know how to explain this card anymore. Okay, so basically this is like a trickster god who uses his form to trick people away from like killing animals, I think is his thing. So his body is shaped like this, as you can see. And this is his front. When he's facing forward, his feet are facing backwards. So essentially when he's running forward, his feet are facing the opposite direction. So he's leading this person away from where they think this thing or person went. If that makes sense. Basically what the card says, backward is forward. So what you think wouldn't work or what's backwards is where you're meant to go. You're meant to do things differently. Backwards, as some people may say, but it's forwards for you. Boom. Okay, here we have treat yourself, and that's also celebration. Celebrate yourself. Treat yourself. Oh yeah, under celebration, exactly. And then we have king. Interesting. I've never gotten this one. Let me see if I can read real quick from the book what that means. Which deck is this? This is the fairy deck. Okay. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Crazy little thing called love. That song's coming through for somebody. King. Where is king? Where is king? Crazy, I was just here. Did I not see it? Oh, 23. I didn't. Okay, let's see what he has to say. Oh, Oberon is a legendary figure who appears in multiple instances of medieval lore, but it was Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream. Guys, I was about to throw this phone somewhere because why was I mentioning this exact play just last week in another reading? And it came just completely out of nowhere. And I'm like, Oberon, that sounds familiar. I think he was a fairy that was tricking them and made them fall in love with the wrong people. This little trickster guy. Okay, so, but it was Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night Dream that turned him into a household name. King Oberon rules over the fairy realm with generosity and a sense of humor, but he is also known to be selfish and even cruel, using his power and status at times to seek his own end, regardless of how it affects others. In Shakespeare's play, Oberon casts a spell on his own wife, interesting, the fairy queen Titania, to trick her into handing over a boy who he wishes to make his servant. Oberon, please. The spell makes his wife fall in love with a donkey's head, interesting. When this card is drawn, have an honest check-in with yourself about the role that authority has in your life. And wasn't your group what I was talking about, always having to be in control? And not want to relinquish control? Yeah. Whether it's your authority or someone else's, do you feel happy with the hierarchical structures that are in place? So maybe sometimes you think, oh, because they said this person, he's generous and he has a sense of humor, but he's also known to be selfish and cruel. And for you guys, I was getting smug, right? And I wasn't trying to be like condescending or rude, but I'm just like, I'm getting that kind of energy of I don't need to learn anymore. I know everything. I'm the boss. I'm the leader. No one can tell me what to do. But sometimes there are people who can tell you what to do. Like you may have trouble with authority, and that's fine because I do too, which is why I was able to pick up on it in this reading. But that's the energy that's coming through here. They're like, do you feel happy with the hierarchical structures that are in place? And if not, if you're someone who doesn't like being told what to do, then be the leader, right? If you don't like being the leader, then find someone to tell you what to do. It's as simple as that, okay? But I'm gonna leave you reading right here. I hope it resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you'd ever like to book a personal reading with me, you could always get in contact with me using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I will see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye. Hello, my gorgeous group threes. Welcome to your reading. Long time no talk. Let me stop. But I'm serious though. I haven't done a reading in forever, it feels like. And I just feel like this long weekend with Labor Day. And my weekend was already weird last week. I don't know. It feels like I haven't filmed in a long time, honestly. So I'm just like, I need to get back into it. Trying to get back in the groove. And I was trying to figure out what to do. And I remembered someone commented a reading about like how to tap more into your divine feminine power. And I'm like, that was cute, but I wasn't really in the space to be doing that because I was doing like a lot of work and I was like a very masculine energy. But this weekend from Thursday to today kind of revived the feminine in me. I was like feeling myself. I was getting treated well in the world. And I'm just like, okay, I'm in my divine feminine energy, gots to be, right? So I'm like, okay, this is the perfect time to do this kind of reading. So we're going to get into that. But first, before we get into how you can tap more into, I wanted to get into who your divine feminine is, right? So who your divine feminine is, we're going to get into that. And then how can you step more into your divine feminine power, okay? Whichever way that manifests in the reading, okay? So let's get into it, right into it, okay? That can be your kind of personality. Let's get right into it, no beating around the bush, no BSing, that kind of thing. So like a very assertive out there. I haven't gotten the energy that much in the reading for group 1 or group 2, so you guys could be that reading or that group where you're definitely more assertive, you're more femme fatale, you're more like, not aggressive, but take no prisoners, holds no bar, that kind of energy. Kind of like a force to be reckoned with energy, that kind of person. That could be your divine feminine energy, but let's see what comes through for you guys. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Chariot. So that's definitely coming through at least a little bit, okay? And the 8 of Cups is when you're not satisfied, you go looking for more and better. And, so maybe you're not easily satisfied. And then we have the 5 of Wands here, which tells me that you're a little bit competitive, okay? And then we have the 3 of Wands, which is the exploring energy. Again, there's 2 energies here of like, oh, this is not good enough. I have to find more. I want to explore the world, see everything. Well, let's see what actually comes out when I do the cards. Now I want to shuffle one more time. Who is your divine feminine? Who is she? Or who are they? It's natural for me to say she, so no offense to anyone who doesn't resonate as a she and you want to get into your divine feminine energy. What is your divine feminine energy like? We have the 10 of Pentacles, and you see how fast and furious that flew out? Wow. Okay. You guys could be a bit of a journaling junkie. I'm hearing not defined palate, elevated palate. You're definitely someone who tries new foods, that kind of energy. That's like the kind of palette that's coming through for you guys. Like, you've explored the world, you've traveled, you've tasted it. It's high, it's elevated, it's whatever kind of palette. You've tasted a lot of things, experiences a lot of stuff as well. So it's kind of even worldly. The 10 of Pentacles in this instance is coming through to me as worldly. An individual who has tasted the finest foods, been here, been there. You've met all kinds of people. You kind of know who you are and you know where you stand in the world. So you're very firm and sure in who you are as a person. 10 of Pentacles is someone who's ready to, like, you're probably in the element of like leaving a legacy behind as we speak. So there's going to be a body of work, there's going to be a book, there's going to be a something that you leave behind that people can come back and say, oh, that's who that person was. Like, she knew what she was doing, she knew where she was going, that kind of energy. So your divine feminine energy is someone who's very sure and is kind of like an explorer of the bunch. I don't want to say Christopher Columbus, that man was but that kind of energy. I can say Lewis and Clark, their expedition to travel off the whole world, that kind of energy you're coming through is them too, okay? So history could also be a big thing for you because, yeah, that's like worldly, right? History, you know about the world and what came before, what's happening now. You may know what's coming in the future, that kind of thing. You can be the person that studies, like, is it current events or what cause and effect or something like that. I know there's a job or a profession that studies stuff like that, like what's going to happen in the world, in the future, based on what's happening now, what happened in the past, what's going to happen in the future, that kind of thing. That could be your divine feminine energy, just like inquisitive, curious, wants to know more, right? As an observer, and you try to figure out, what is giving me, like someone who like does stocks, does investing, and you're kind of like looking and observing and seeing how the market did in the past, how the market is doing now in order to figure out how it's going to do in the future, and whether to invest or not. That's what I'm getting here. I don't know if some of you do that for work. I know I don't, but that's coming through strongly. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'd be reading books and I'd be picking up little bits of information from books, and I'm like, oh, that is a job. That was one of my books, right? So you kind of like watch the market, you watch current events, you watch what's happening, you just observe and look and see And you kind of want to be in the thick of everything. You want to be in the hurricane. You don't want to be in the calm. You want to be right in the middle of everything, in the thick of it. You're giving like a reporter vibe. Like you're giving Lois Lane, where she was getting the biggest, juiciest tidbits. She was very tenacious, right? Didn't give up very easily. That's the kind of energy your divine feminine is coming through as to me. And that is not usually Ten of Pentacles energy, but I'm reading this as an energy and what's coming through right now, like my body, how I'm feeling, what's going on around me, that kind of energy. But I'm getting like a very, very, very like fierce, strong, intuitive hits. So there's something here about your presence not being like, not missed, but not being confused for anything like timid or scared. No, you're very tenacious, very straightforward, very forthcoming, very frank, very just like, you want to know everything. You want to soak up everything. You're a sponge, right? Oh boy. Spirit sometimes really be coming through clear in some readings. And I'm like, how I got all that from Ten of Pentacles? But I kind of piggyback off of a few things, but still. And now the reading's over. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But that's the energy coming through here, okay? Ten of Pentacles is a strong head on your shoulders, but you have a good future, right? Ahead of you, if that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense to me. You have a bright future ahead of you. That's what I wanted to say, essentially. Like, people know you're going places. That's your divine feminine energy. Your divine feminine energy is like, we're not staying here. We want to travel the whole world. Yes, we may not have all the newest things like Lewis and Clark and their expedition, but they still did it. They still wanted to do it. They said, whatever the conditions, whatever the circumstances, whatever the turnout, whatever, they just were in it for the plot, right? Yo, that has been taking over my life recently. Like, just do it for the plot. If it doesn't turn out great, at least you have a good story to come out of it. That's how I am, like, when it comes to everything lately. I'm like, I'm just going to see what happens. Before I used to be like, who all gonna be there? And I don't really want to be around people and da-da-da-da. Now I'm like, let's see, right? I'm in, like, a very sociable mood lately. That could be the kind of person you are as well. You're very sociable, very easy to get along with. Here we have Ace of Cups, very likable, right? The Ace of Cups in some instances gives me someone who's easily or widely liked or known or loved or beloved, right? Let's see what else comes through. So your divine feminine is someone who's easy to get along with. Your divine feminine can be something that's quite like, I was going to say easy for you to inhabit, but now I'm like, Nine of Swords is kind of like fear and anxiety and sleepless nights. Maybe you're restless is what I just heard. So, okay, that makes more sense. Your divine feminine is restless when she's not doing stuff. That could be the vibe. Like, you always feel like you have to be doing things, accomplishing something. Okay, you're overachiever. And then we have Judgment. Look at this lady. She's like, charge. She's like advocating for things. You know what I mean? And this is kind of giving me, I'm pretty sure y'all be on YouTube. You're on YouTube right now, right? There's an ad that always comes through with the parents from the Sandy Hook elementary kid victims. They're their parents. And they're asking people to sign a petition for, you know, more strict gun laws, you know what I mean, in the United States, because it's too easy, it's too simple for certain things. And then there's also a video that I saw, funnily enough, on the way to work, since this topic is coming through. There was a girl who had albinism, and she's legally blind. And she's like, just to let you guys know, it's quite easy for someone like me who is legally blind. It's easier for me to get and acquire a firearm and qualify for that than it is for me to qualify for Medicaid in New York State. And New York State has some of the strictest gun laws in the country. But someone who's legally blind can acquire one quite easily, and it's harder to get Medicaid and Medicare than it is to get a firearm. And that's like stuff that you will probably care about and advocate for. You know what I mean? You know, activism is what this is giving. Power to the people. Angela Davis, I feel like this character is kind of not foiling, but kind of copying, I guess you could say. Embodying, I guess that's a better word, right? She's embodying that Angela Davis, speak up, power to the people kind of energy here. And that's who you are. Like I said, your energy is not one to be missed or misinterpreted. You're very clear about who you are and where you stand and what you stand for, most importantly. So we have those cards on the board. I feel like your divine feminine energy is coming through pretty clearly. She's fierce, okay? She's fiery. She's passionate, but she's also quite lovable, okay? And she's also stable with this Ten of Pentacles coming through. Sorry, the card was kind of giving Lopsided. She's tired. It's not funny. I'm not laughing at you. It's just every time I hear or say tired recently, it's just I've been hearing broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round. So I do feel like in some kind of way or some way, shape, or form, life has tried to beat you down or has beaten you down before in the past. Your divine feminine energy feels like very oppressed in this very I'm hearing rude awakening in this very nasty life we live, you know, with the nasty people, nasty energies. It's all about money. It's not about freedom. We're all trapped in some cycle in one way or the other. It's just like, if it's not, you're being racially profiled, you're being, what is it called? Is it casted? Like, there's a caste system in the world and you're like being casted in that system, whether it's you're rich or poor, middle class. Like, it doesn't matter what you do or where you turn, you are being classed, put in a class or ranked. You know what I mean? There's people who are powerful and the hungry and the greedy and the corrupt. And there's people who want to attain power to overcome that system and make things better for everyone. And there's people who could care less. There's people who care too much. It's too much out here. And that's how I feel your divine feminine feels. There's too much going on sometimes, right? And maybe you use certain things to distract you, or it makes you want to fight even harder for justice and, you know, real and truth. You know, I'm hearing truth and honor. So some of you could be journalists or want to be journalists, or you're going to school for that or something like that, but you want the truth to be out there. And that's something you seek and strive, whether it has to do with you, sleepless nights, you being in pain. You rather know all the facts than be left in the dark, right? That's that tenacious, very intelligent part to you. And I love how she's wearing glasses here. It's kind of like, yeah, I know my stuff. If you were to ask me to give a speech on something that I'm passionate about right now, we could be here for hours. Where do you want me to start? That's how I feel about astrology. That's how I feel about spirituality. That's how I feel about breaking generational traumas. That's how I feel about healing yourself. That's how I feel about becoming aware of your triggers and healing that. Like, child, like I can go on for hours and hours about certain things. And I feel like you guys are very passionate about certain specific stuff as well. Not everything, but specific stuff, maybe even more niche topics, people that things don't really care about. Things, I can't talk today, that's crazy. People that things don't really care about, that's a crazy way to put it. Things that people don't really care about, okay? That kind of thing, or you wish they cared about more. You know, it's like a very rampant subject that's like, or a very important, urgent subject matter, but everyone is like turning a blind eye. Climate change, for example. You know what I mean? World hunger, war, what's going on in Palestine, like, what's going on in Gaza. Like, there's so many things. And everyone is just like acting like it's a regular day. Like it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. This is not Mr. Rogers or Daniel Tiger. There's things going on. Like, you're living your life like nothing's going on. That's how you feel like. So your divine feminine energy is very passionate, okay? She wants everybody to wake up, stand up, open up your eyes, open up your mouth, right? Oh my gosh, why am I hearing Arthur? Every day when you're walking down the street, hey, and everybody that you meet, what has an original point of view? And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day where you can learn to laugh and play, yeah, and get along with each other. Hey, you got to listen to your heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of your feet. Open up your eyes, open up your ears, get together and make things better by working together. I'm done. I'm sorry. I need to get to the part where it was open up your eyes, open up your ears, because that part is what made the song come through. It's a simple message, and it comes from the heart. Just believe in yourself. That's the place to start. And I say, hey. Okay, I promise I'm done now. But anyway, that's what's coming through that song right there is definitely, I feel like, embodying your divine feminine, right? And there's something here about, like, you gotta listen to your heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. Open up your eyes, open up your ears, get together and make things better by working together. Like, what are you telling me? Not Arthur coming through. That's crazy. Spirit is funny today. Like, I'm telling you, the messages are coming through wide and clear for your group today. Your divine feminine is, like, very strong and very sure. of who she is, where she stands, and what she stands for, like I said earlier. But the Ace of Cups is giving me someone that's a lot of heart, like I said, and is loved by many people. So you do lots of things for people. I'm hearing bleeding heart. Your heart is overflowing. You care a lot about different topics, which is why you kind of go so hard sometimes for what you believe in, because what you believe in is what everyone should believe in. You believe in humanity, you know, basic human decency. Everyone should have food. Everyone should have clothing. Everyone should have somewhere to play, to stay, to rest their head, right? Every kid should be able to go to school and have education. You don't need to pay for school. And like I feel like you're just that, like, it's like socialists, activists, whatever you want to call the people that are out there fighting for basic human rights is the kind of person you are, okay? Like I said, Miss Angela Davis lookalike is coming through in this reading right here. Then we have heart, your bleeding heart. Your heart is overflowing. You feel a lot of emotions, a lot of love, okay? Oh, I gotta breathe. That's crazy. That was very intense, but let's breathe it out now. The Ten of Pentacles also is someone who's like building a legacy, so that could be something that's also like associated with your divine feminine, right? Like I said, you're leaving something behind, generational truths, generational healing, whatever. It's taking me to, there's a few things coming through. I forgot those other few, but it was giving me a conversation I was having with my best friend, like, was it last night? And I was just like going through all the freaking family drama and trauma that has just been going on for who knows how many years. And I'm talking about it. It's kind of like, what the heck have you lived through? Like, what have you, and the fact that you are who you are now, self-aware, you're still compassionate, you're still empathic, you're still able to feel in love and want to heal. It's crazy because the stuff you've been through and the things you've seen, I'm just like, talking about it is like a lot. And I'm like, girl, I feel like we haven't had one of those conversations in a long time because life is busy and life is just always going. And even though we do see each other often, it's never like deep conversations like that. It's always like, oh, what's going on, whatever, you know, just quiet, just hanging together, just being in each other's presence. That kind of energy is never like deep diving on what's going on in each other's lives. And I was just like, girl. And then we kind of got into it, and it was just like, once you like just put it all out there and speak about what you've been through, and like, just, it's crazy sometimes to figure out what you've actually overcome and what you still have to overcome and what you can help others overcome because you've overcome it. Like, those are the kind of things I feel like your divine feminine embodies very beautifully, okay? So I don't want to do too much on that. Sorry, I got a notification. You guys can also be very pretty, right? Beautiful is vibe coming through because I just got a notification from Ulta Beauty, and I'm like, they're reminding me of my purchase that I made. I went on a shopping spree last night, guys. Don't at me. Let me stop. I bought more cards. Can you imagine? I haven't even opened all the cards that I bought from the last haul, and I bought more. Like, I still only opened one tarot deck and 2 oracle decks for y'all. I still have 2 other tarot decks and like 3 other oracle decks that I got. And then I went and got more yesterday, and I'm just like, I need help. I know this, right? But it's for the channel. Like, what do you mean? Anyway, let me stop. I'm done. You guys could like be that kind of person as well. You're always like shopping or buying things, that kind of energy. But there was something here about looking pretty because Ulta Beauty, I got a notification from them. Yeah, there we go. Your divine feminine is very feminine. She is very like maybe Venusian at times, you know, very magnetic, that kind of thing. Or people, like I said, just to gravitate towards you naturally, or your divine feminine naturally because you have a lot of heart to you. Now, what I'm going to do is move on to the how you can embody the divine feminine more. And I'm going to use these cards, put these up there. I'm going to use the cards from the fairy and the mermaid, because what's more feminine and beautiful than fairies and mermaids? Like, what are you telling me? Let me shuffle these. Let's see what comes through for you guys. How can my group 3s better embody their divine feminine energy, please? How can they better embody Very well spoken, very well educated. Some of you could literally wear circular glasses, because I don't think a lot of people in this deck have them, but this lady here does have them, and so does this lady here. Just to show you, they both have the circular round glasses effect. They're Harry Potters, but they're gold. Okay, let's see what came out for you guys. We have bad company. We have clear space, clear mind. So cleaning up, right? It could be important for you guys to be surrounded by beauty or cleanliness. Like, I feel like for me, that is 100% true. Like, when the room is dirty, when my clothes are dirty, when I come home from a long day at work and I just gotta encounter a bunch of clutter and all this kind of stuff, I get upset. And when I clean, I feel so much better afterwards. Mostly because I like to see a clean space, but also because it feels like I can move more, like my mind is more like clear when things are clean around me, right? When the bathroom's clean, the kitchen's clean, there's no dishes everywhere. Life just seems so much worse, I swear, when everything is just everywhere, you know? That's why when I come home sometimes I just, want to hop right into bed because I get home late and I got to get up early again tomorrow. I'm just like, no. At a certain point, I got to get up and do something, child. That's why the midweek resets that I get are so important. It's time to wash clothes. It's time to fold them. I cannot wash clothes without folding and putting them away. It will bother me and it will nag me, and I will have anxiety, guys. Like, I can't. And that's just like, if I'm doing one thing, I must finish it before I move on to the next thing. So when I wash clothes, it's wash, dry, fold, put away. No throwing it on the bed somewhere. No throwing it in a hamper somewhere. No putting it on that one chair everybody seems to have in their room full of clothes. No. I gotta fold my underwear, pack it away. I gotta fold my clothes. I can't. And it helps whenever I'm done and I'm in a clean space. I light a candle or I throw on my diffuser, and life is amazing. I'm sitting there reading a book and I just love myself and I love life, and life just seems so much better. So I feel like that is important for you to keep in touch, or to more embody your divine feminine. Clean space. If you have too much stuff, give away stuff you don't need anymore, right? That kind of thing. Just make sure you're surrounded by beauty and nice things and clean, fresh smells. And I feel like that entices you and encourages you. It makes life better, like I was saying, essentially, using myself as an example later. But yeah, it's clear space, clear mind, period. Simple. And then we have bad company. Get rid of bad company. This is like a pretty straightforward answer. To more embody your divine feminine, get rid of bad company or bad energies that are surrounding you. The bad energy could be you. It could be a bad energy surrounding you. Sage, clean, cleanse. Like I said, wash clothes. Some people use like, there's specific like oils you can use in your clothes to like cleanse it, you know what I mean, to make it clean. Because you go outside and you touch different people and you're around different people and you don't really know who have good energy towards you, who have bad energy towards you. Come home, cleanse your house, and make sure to get every corner, you know what I mean, that kind of energy. That is like, I feel like really important for you. So spiritual work is really important, and energy work is really important for you guys. Breathing, meditation, I'm going to add that in there as well. Journaling, purging your feelings, especially for some of you, because not some of you, all y'all up in this mug that chose group 3. I feel like emotions can overtake you sometimes, and I feel like it's important for you to purge those emotions, right? You feel like you have a lot of heart, and it's important for you to keep in touch with yourself, so self-love, throw that in there as well, in order to get more in contact with your divine feminine. Take care of yourself and your space, period. And then here we have north, south, east, and west. This is giving me saging north, south, east, and west. Like, this is very spiritual, like how to get in contact with your divine feminine. Everyone was getting like practical things they could do. You're getting more, they're practical things you could do, but it's more spiritually focused, I guess you could say, right? Okay, so clear space, clear mind. Always clear your mind, make sure you're good, right? And I do believe the closer, it's like, what is it saying? The cleaner you are, the closer you are to God or something. Cleanliness is close to godliness. He doesn't like confusion. He's not the author of confusion. that kind of thing. So when you're confused, when your place is dirty, God don't want nothing to do with you. Spirit, your divine feminine, they all running for the hills. They're running for shelter. When your life is clean, your mind is clear, your space is tidy, then more energy, feng shui up in this mug. Like, I need to get into feng shui, y'all, this is, like I said, these are weird messages, I know, but walk with me, okay? Hear me out, right? This could make sense to a lot of you. You know what I mean? North, south, east, and west is kind of giving me that kind of vibe. Maybe you need to incorporate a bunch of different practices from a bunch of different, ethnicities or cultures, right? Not one size fits all. You need to do all of them. I'm hearing sound healing, with the bowls and stuff like that. Meditation, yoga is coming through. I'm hearing Pilates. So like practical things that are spiritually focused are coming through for y'all. Exercise, meditation, cleaning. Those are things that are easy, but it gets you closer to your divine feminine. It puts you in that energy of like, oh, okay. Maybe even it's like you aspire to be a housewife. Like cleaning and making sure you're good and whatever. That's what housewives do, right? Cleaning. And making sure the house is nice and their husband has something to come home to, or the kids have somewhere nice to rest their place, to rest their head. That's the kind of energy coming through for you guys in this reading, So I feel like that's, practical ways to get in touch with the divine feminine. North, south, east, and west could literally mean like travel, right? But it's mostly giving me like a way to do sage, like sage every corner of that house. Okay, because bad company, bad energy could follow you home, right? When you coming home at night, walk in the house backwards, okay? That's what they told me when I was young, and no matter where I am or what I do, if I'm walking in the house, I'm walking in backwards, okay? Like maybe I need to get more into hoodoo and voodoo, stuff like that, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Just keep in mind that some things are close practice, so don't be trying to do certain things knowing you can't do certain things. Be very mindful, right? Be very cognizant, understanding as well. That kind of thing is coming through. But I'm pretty sure y'all know that already. Don't need to tell y'all that. But, I've learned some things along the way. Okay, where's the other deck I wanted to get from at the bottom? Let's see. I wanted to touch it for a reason. Gold at the end of the rainbow. Maybe you're sitting out in nature, sitting out in a field. That could be, it's something simple as that to get in touch with your divine feminine. And gold at the end of the rainbow is like knowing that what you're working for has a positive outcome or will produce the results you want to produce. There is gold at the end of this rainbow. Sometimes leprechauns go searching for the gold at the end of the rainbow and there ain't no gold there. This card coming out with gold at the end of the rainbow is telling me that there will be gold at the end of your rainbow. So whatever makes you happy, do what makes you happy, period. Doing what you love, what makes you happy, you're going to find gold at the end of the rainbow, okay? Now let's get to this other deck really quickly. And let's see, how can you step into your divine feminine energy? Your divine feminine power. Why would you fall? Some of you could have felt called to group 2 because these cards that fell came out in group 2, protection and celebration. Celebrate yourself. And also protect yourself. That's what I was getting with the whole north, south, east, and west vibe coming through here. So I guess we'll keep them. But I do want to get more. Not just the celebration is going out into the sun is what I'm getting for this deck here. Because of course she's a mermaid and she can stay in the water. But she's coming outside the water to get that vitamin D. Okay? To step into your feminine power, some of y'all need to get more in touch with your body as well. Feel up on her, pleasure her, caress her, lotion her, treat her nice. That ties into the whole working out. That ties into the whole putting clean clothes on her. That ties into the whole Ulta Beauty. Go to Ulta Beauty and get you some self-care routines there. There are people walking around to help you with whatever you may need. Hair recommendations, makeup recommendations, body recommendations. They're there to help you if you are completely lost on how to be a girly girl or how to be a girl or how to be a woman or how to get into your whatever. There's places for that. There's like a specific, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but there's like a specific like app or website that helps you like learn more about like self-pleasure, self-love. And don't ask me why I know, child. I have a hard time like tapping into that side of myself. So I'm like, I forget the name of it, child. But I know that like they send like emails sometimes and it's like something where they help you get to know your own body. I think it's an app. I'm pretty sure. But Stuff like that. This is giving me that vitamin D. Maybe pleasure yourself more. If you have a man, maybe help him pleasure yourself. Like, there's something here about pleasure. Okay. Coming through. I don't know why these cards did all that. Like, that was not necessary. So maybe some of you need to get more in touch with your body, whether it's through working out, whether it's through pleasuring, lotioning, shaving, feeling beautiful, buying nice stuff to put on your body, glamour magic, you know, getting ready a ritual, and speaking love and positivity and pleasure into yourself as you start your day. Meditation and the guided meditations if you must. Like, I'm hearing subliminals, stuff like that. If you really, really struggle to get in touch with this kind of energy, you have to go to extreme circumstances. Go to these stores. Like my hair, I never knew how to do my hair. Can you guys help me? Like, I have wavy hair, I have curly hair, I have straight hair. What products do you recommend for me to use? They're gonna let you know. Like, my body is always like really dry. Like, do you know any moisturizing body butters or whatever that'll help me feel better about my body and my dry skin? They can help you with that. Like, I'm having a hard time feeling sexy. Like, is there anything you could recommend? Like, try things. If it's makeup, you could try doing your hair, like straightening it, curling it, doing flexi rods, like doing different styles, putting on wigs to feel sexier. Like, anything you need to do to tap the divine feminine is what you need to do, guys. I'm telling you right now, okay? Reading books on it, asking friends about it. It's not vulnerable or weak to ask your friends for help. Especially if you see you have a specific friend it's easier for them to be the divine feminine than you are. Ask them how. Study them. You know? Ain't no shame in nobody's game out here. We're all in this together. Okay? And if you don't have friends like that, make new friends like that. And that's where the bad company is coming from. The bad people that's around you are making you feel this kind of way. And making it impossible for you to get in your divine feminine. It's just, y'all, you're around a bunch of confused, bad mind, bad people. You know what I mean? Because like I said, God is not the author of confusion. So if you're around a bunch of confused people who are always spewing hate and gossip, and that ain't gonna get you nowhere. Okay. Can I get like at least 2 more cards that the other groups didn't get? And we have Riddle Me This. This is quite interesting. Can I get 1 more card, please, Spirit? Or maybe just that's it. We have Forgiveness. Maybe there's somebody or something you need to forgive. And then here we have Siren Song, which I love because, period, you guys are coming through with sirens and maybe you're untapped. You have untapped siren potential. Because immediately at the beginning of the reading, you guys were giving me people who are like, no holds barred, no holding back. It's very easy for you. You know who you are. You know where you stand. And that's very sexy and attractive. So maybe you do attract attention, but you don't know how to, I don't know, relish in it. You don't know how to enjoy it. It may make you nervous, anxious with the 9 of Swords coming through, you know? But forgiveness, there could be somebody that you need to forgive, okay, or something you need to forgive. Forgive yourself and somebody else and or someone else, okay? Put that forgiveness up there. Here we have the Siren Song. It's like find your voice. It's like the siren is the seductress, okay? She is luring you to your doom, right? And I feel like there's a few people in the world who you can like learn a lot from. I remember my friend was like, Sabrina Carpenter's this cute little like seductress, enchantress energy, you know, where she gives sexy, but it's also in a very cute, playful way, right? If you need to study anybody when it comes to like, you know, being more feminine, there's a bunch of people you can study, you know, already out there, famous people, friends, family, stuff like that. No, like don't become them, don't copycat them, but just like try to embody their energy. If you need help asking them, say, hey, what makes you feel sexy? How do you tap into this energy and make it look easy? And they may tell you it's not easy for you, but I do this, and that. Like, you never know, you know? But the Siren Song is definitely enchantress, temptress. Succubus is the word she used for Sabrina Carpenter. She's like a little succubus, right? She's luring you to your doom, literally. Okay, and then we have this card here. Riddle Me This. I want to read into this. I want to understand what this is about. Protection is simple. Celebration is simple. I think there's something here also about like sensuality that you need to embody more of. Do things that make you feel sexy. Like I said, if it's being with your man, getting your back broke up, let me stop. being folded into a pretzel, let it be that. If it's singing, if it's taking a shower, taking baths, lighting candles, setting the mood, do that. If it's touching up on yourself, getting to know your own body, what you like, what you don't like, do that. Okay, there are things that you can do. What the heck is this? I think this is the fairies. No, this is the mermaids. We're going to read for Riddle Me This. But it's basically just giving me you don't know. And things about riddles is they're hard to decipher. So there's like do everything and try a bunch of different stuff is kind of what I'm getting. But you guys got a lot of examples of what you can and can't do, or what you should and shouldn't do to tap into your divine feminine energy. But Riddle Me This is like a riddle. Riddles are hard to solve, right? They're supposed to stump you. So you're supposed to be fumbling and not knowing yet. You're supposed to learn along the way is the kind of vibe that I could be getting from Riddle Me This. You know, if I'm reading it intuitively, it's kind of like a Riddle Me This. That's a question you should ask yourself. You should know, or you will find out if the more you try to solve the riddle, okay? Let's get into it in the book. Riddle Me This is page 15. And we have the blue men of the Minch are mischievous merfolk from Scottish folklore. As their name suggests, they have blue tinted skin and resemble human men. They swim together in groups with their torsos raised out of the water, seeking ships to capsize and sailors to drown. Interesting. Blue men are known for speaking in riddles and rhyming verse. When blue men attack a ship, they will only let the sailors free if the skipper can solve one of their word games. How rude. Like, please. When this card is drawn, you might be dealing with uncertainty. When we're riddled with doubt about the future, we concentrate on the present moment to help bring calm. Check in with yourself and pay attention to how you feel right now, rather than thinking about what's to come. Approach this time with curiosity and wonder. Wasn't I saying for you guys in the beginning of the reading that you're the person who's assessing what happened in the past and the present to try to determine what happens in the future, whether it's stocks, investing, current events, world events, that kind of thing. They're like, breathe, calm down, and focus on what's happening right now. Okay, what feels right now, rather than thinking about what's to come. Stop being so stuck in the future, worried about how your body feels now, who you love now, what you love about yourself right now. Don't worry about what your body's gonna look like 3 years from now. Worry about what it looks like now. Take little small steps if you don't like it. Embrace it and touch up on it and feel up on it if you love it. Okay, simple as that. Stop trying to determine the outcome of life and the future and all that kind of stuff. Just focus on the right now. Find the beauty in the now. And that is what I have for you guys, okay? Think of it as a riddle to solve. Your divine feminine energy. Make it fun. Make it a game. And that may make it more fun to you. Because when you try a bunch of different games, like it's like when you're trying to find the perfect game for your PlayStation or whatever. Like there's so many games to choose from. Just keep trying all the games until you find the one that you like. And playing games is fun. So it should be fun along the way to finding the game that you love or the genre of game that you like, right? It should be fun. But anywho, I'm done. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. We'd love to have you. If you'd ever like to book a personal reading with me, you would always get in contact with me using my email in the description box below. But I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day whenever you're watching this reading. And as always, I'll see you gorgeous people in the next one. Mwah. Bye.